Let's move on to Room for Improvement.
Let me jump right into it. I don't want to waste their time. I wanted to know this is what I would approve about the film.
Oh, okay, so nothing.
No, because I don't
Or,
want
or was that wiped by the
BTN.
yeah.
No, it's nothing. The reason why I say it's not a cop out for me because clearly there's some not. I mean, like film wise, there's things that I prefer and things I like, pace and things like that. But for me, sometimes you just need to leave beautiful chaos as beautiful chaos. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if I change something, then it's going to take away what someone else might have got from it. Like most people have been like, oh, I love it. I just didn't want to see them kill the little girl. No, we got to see the little girl get killed. Because she came the symbol. Symbol lives on. Girl dies, symbol lives on. It's an idea. So for me, even watching this movie, like rewatching it, like it makes you feel stronger. And especially in the times that we're living in. So to me, I wouldn't want to change anything because guess what? I'm living that movie right now.
And you don't want to change anything?
Nah, it works itself out.
That's true. That's true. It will work itself out. We're this close to getting rock bottom, and then we're just they explode, and here comes the crescendo.
Here comes the boom.
I almost agree with you. I have one thing. If I could change one thing, if I was pushed into a corner and said you had to change one thing, that thing that I would want to change is, again, as much as I love John Hurt, I mean, he's 1984. That in itself is like, I'm a fan for life, is his performance in that. But his performance as the Chancellor, I wish that he would have played the character more subtle. I wish that there and after I had this thought and when I was watching the movie and then afterwards went into the deep dive and was reading up about like the behind the scenes, the way different people in the cast and crew felt, the way the novelist felt about the outcome of the movie. I kind of shared his sentiment that in the novel, the government was, more specifically, the people that represented the government were more well-rounded. They were more complex. They had, like in the novel, the Chancellor is like a timid, kind of like he just purely believes in what he's doing, and he has his reasons for that. So it's more complex. In the movie, he's just like
More tyrant.
yeah, and he's like the obvious bad guy. Like there's no redeeming qualities about him. He is just always yelling. He's angry. He's at 11 on the scale, and it's like how does anybody
Deal
in
with
that
it.
room don't stop for a second and say like, nah, I'm definitely on the wrong side if this is the guy I'm following because he's just
I mean, Creedy eventually found out got threatened with death.
yeah, I mean, even he had to be bribed to put the bullet there. But I wish that I think the movie as a whole would have been a lot better if the villain in it was just a little bit more subtle and maybe had some qualities that complicated. Where I just
Would
like
have made the kill more rewarding almost.
yeah, it's kind of like Black Panther and what we were talking about with Killmonger, where the why he was such a good villain was because you could I had nothing to identify with the Chancellor. There was no if they would have taken a little bit more time or maybe used a little bit more of the source material to almost be a voice, like have some kind of voice in there in favor of what the Chancellor is standing for, to tempt the audience to wonder, like, is this somebody I should be rooting for, or at least I could see where they're coming from? Like, no,
They
he
didn't
was
get, they
just
wanted you to know
straight.
who to hate from the beginning.
Yeah, he was kind of like a slightly more sophisticated version of like, I'm gonna steal the moon and blow up the world type
Yeah.
of like big comic book villain. But he was like, yeah, I just wish they would have rounded him off around the edges a little bit, and that his performance would have been a little bit more just nuanced, that where he was just more troubling than or a
Menacing,
subtle menace
yeah.
than just all the time. So
I can't say I don't agree. I don't disagree with that. I mean, that's very obtuse. I'm sorry, that's a very astute way of looking at it. And you're right. Like you say, it was It was no levels to him. I mean, granted, it was written that way, and they always want you to know who to hate. You know what I'm saying? They never let you, like you say, sway your opinion here or there. Or maybe he had a reason for doing this. So I agree with you 100% on that. So yeah, I mean, while I still say I wouldn't have changed anything, I can see why you say if pushing a corner you would have.
And I'll even say in their defense that, I mean, they said that 1984 was a inspiration for this movie, and it's plain to see. And in 1984, that's the way that the government is conveyed. And John Hurt had direct experience with 1984 in that world, so I could see why he would have brought that energy to this character, where there is no, it's very black and white. Mm-hmm. Like this government is evil, and that's the only way they're going to be played. There's no redeeming qualities. There's no good reason for what they're doing. So
not only are they evil, remember old boy was like, I've been a member for 27 years. He looked at him like he wasn't.
Like, are you investigating me now? Are you following me now?
Find the terrorists.
Just find the terrorists.
Find the terrorists.
Find the terrorists, or you'll be the terrorist.
Right. Stick to the program. Okay,
yeah.
I agree. Find the terrorists.
All right, that is our. That's what we would change. What would you have changed? Do you agree with what we would? What do you agree with? What I would have wanted to change? Do you agree that he wouldn't have wanted to change anything, and that we're perfectly fine in this state of where everything is? And again, this is coming from you live from November 3rd, not November 5th when this is posting. So, who knows? Maybe Mr. Worrell's opinion will change on November 5th.
Remember, the 5th of November.
That's the trailer.